Migingo Island, just half an acre of jagged rock, perched in the endless blue of Lake Victoria, Africa's largest and most storied lake. From above, it looks almost insignificant, a mere speck in the vastness, dwarfed by the shimmering water that stretches to the horizon in every direction. Yet this tiny outcrop is anything but ordinary. You could walk from one end to the other in less than a minute, but in that short distance you'd pass through one of the most hotly contested and densely packed places on the planet. Every step is a reminder of how precious space is here and how fiercely it's defended. From the sky, Migingo is a chaotic patchwork of rusted metal shacks, their tin roofs pressed so tightly together that they seem to spill over the rocky edges and into the lake itself. There's barely a gap between them, and every available inch is claimed. There are no sandy beaches here, no swaying palm trees or gentle waves lapping at the shore. Instead, Migingo is a fortress of corrugated iron and weathered wood, built on bare rock and the will to survive. Life here is about endurance, not comfort. Migingo sits right on the invisible, ever-shifting border between Kenya and Uganda. This makes it both a coveted prize and a constant source of tension. Flags flutter in the wind, but the lines of ownership are blurred, fueling disputes that ripple far beyond the island's shores. Nearby, the larger islands of Usingo and Pyramid sit quietly, their shores mostly empty, their land open and unclaimed. But it's Migingo, with its teeming life and relentless energy, that draws people in. The contrast is striking. While its neighbors slumber, Migingo never sleeps. Not long ago, Migingo was just a deserted rock, battered by waves and ignored by all. Everything changed when word spread of the rich Nile perch grounds just offshore. Suddenly, this forgotten outcrop became a beacon for fishermen from across the region. News of the bounty traveled fast. Soon, hundreds of people from Kenya, Uganda, and even Tanzania arrived, each hoping to carve out a living. They built upwards and outwards, creating a vertical slum that clings to the water's edge, with new arrivals squeezing in wherever they could find space. On Migingo, every square foot is precious. Disputes over boundaries and resources are common, and every shack tells a story of struggle and determination. Here, survival isn't just a daily challenge, it's a way of life, and every resident is a testament to human grit. The island pulses with energy, a frontier town in the truest sense. The air is thick with the sounds of bargaining, laughter, and the occasional argument. Life is chaotic, raw, and unfiltered, where people rely on instinct and resilience to get by. For those who call Migingo home, the promise of a big catch is worth every hardship. Here, hope floats on the water, and the dream of fortune keeps the island alive day after day. Migingo's population is a mystery. Some say 500, others claim it swells to over 1,800 during the peak fishing season. The truth is, no one really knows for sure. The numbers shift with the tides as fishermen and traders come and go, chasing the promise of a good catch or a better deal. At sunrise, the docks are alive with activity, boats jostle for space, and the air buzzes with shouts, laughter, and the clatter of daily commerce. The island's energy is relentless, pulsing from dawn until long after dark. Either way, it's one of the most crowded places on the planet. Every square meter is claimed, every rooftop and alleyway pressed into use. There's barely room to breathe, let alone to dream of solitude. Homes are stacked, alleys are muddy mazes, and privacy is a luxury no one can afford. The walls are thin, and the sounds of neighbors, arguments, laughter, lullabies, spill into every corner. Life is lived in public, every joy and argument shared. The island's heartbeat is communal, and everyone's story is woven into the fabric of daily existence. The island is a melting pot, mainly Kenyan and Ugandan, united by the pursuit of Nile perch. Here, language, culture, and even rivalries blend together, shaped by the demands of survival and the lure of the lake's bounty. Despite the border dispute, residents have forged a fragile peace out of necessity. Cooperation is not just encouraged, it's required, as everyone depends on each other to make life work in such close quarters. There are bars, shops, a pharmacy, even a hair salon, each business vital to daily survival. These humble establishments are more than just places to buy goods or services. They're gathering spots, lifelines, and sources of comfort in a harsh environment. Space is precious. A tiny shack costs a fortune, and beds are rented in shifts. At night, the island transforms as one group sleeps while another heads out to fish, the cycle never stopping. Noise, stress, and lack of sanitation are constant, but life goes on. The challenges are many: overflowing trash, scarce clean water, and the ever-present hum of activity, but the people endure, adapting to whatever the day brings. People fall in love, children are born, and community is forged in hardship. Even in the tightest spaces, life finds a way to blossom. Friendships are made, families grow, and hope persists. Every day is a test of resilience. The people of Migingo face the elements, the crowds, and the uncertainty of tomorrow with a determination that is as fierce as the lake itself. Cooperation is essential, but tension is never far away. Disagreements flare, but so does the will to find common ground because survival depends on it. Migingo is proof that even in chaos, humanity adapts and endures. Against all odds, this tiny island thrives, a testament to the strength, ingenuity, and spirit of its people. Everything on Migingo revolves around the Nile perch, Lake Victoria's white gold. This single species has transformed the island from a rocky outcrop into a bustling hub, drawing people from all over East Africa. The Nile perch is more than just a fish here. It's a lifeline, a source of hope, and sometimes a cause of conflict. As the sun sets, fishermen prepare for another long night. They head out nightly, risking storms and pirates for a shot at a life-changing catch. The lake can turn treacherous in an instant, with sudden winds and waves threatening to capsize their small wooden boats. Yet, the promise of a big haul keeps them pushing off into the darkness, night after night. The lake's richest fishing grounds are just offshore, making Migingo a magnet for fortune seekers. Dozens of boats crowd the waters, their crews working in close quarters, each hoping to land the catch that will change their fortunes. Competition is fierce, and tempers sometimes flare as everyone vies for the best spots. Nights are spent on the water, days begin with a frenzied fish market on the rocky shore. As dawn breaks, the island comes alive with shouts and bargaining, the air thick with the smell of fresh fish and diesel. The market is chaotic, but it's the heart of Migingo's economy, where fortunes are made and lost in a matter of hours. Buyers haggle, cash changes hands, and the island's economy spins for another day. Middlemen and traders jostle for the best deals, while fishermen hope to earn enough to cover their debts and maybe set a little aside. Every transaction is a small victory, or a bitter disappointment. Most fishermen don't own their boats, they lease them, often surrendering most of their earnings. Boat owners, many of whom live far from Migingo, set the terms, leaving the fishermen with little bargaining power. Repairs, fuel, and gear all eat into their share, making it hard to break free from the cycle. It's a cycle of debt and risk, with the real profits flowing to distant owners. The men who brave the lake's dangers see only a fraction of the wealth their labor creates. Meanwhile, outsiders with bigger boats and deeper pockets reap the rewards from afar. The dream of wealth is elusive. Most scrape by, trapped by high costs and dangerous work. Their homes are cramped and weather-beaten, a stark contrast to the riches the Nile perch brings to foreign markets. Still, they endure, driven by the hope that tomorrow's catch might finally bring a change in fortune. Yet the hope of a big catch keeps them coming back. Each morning, as the sun rises over Lake Victoria, the fishermen ready their nets and boats, fueled by dreams of a better life. The cycle begins anew, with fresh determination and undimmed ambition. The Nile perch boom has made some rich, but left many struggling. For every trader counting stacks of cash, there are dozens of fishermen returning with empty nets, wondering how they'll make it through another day. On Migingo, every night on the lake is a gamble for survival. The risks are real, storms, theft, and exhaustion, but so is the hope that the next catch will finally tip the scales in their favor. The silver rush rarely rewards those who risk the most. For the fishermen of Migingo, the pursuit of the Nile perch is a test of endurance, resilience, and hope, a daily struggle for survival on the edge of Lake Victoria. Life on Migingo is a daily battle against the elements and scarcity. There's no running water, every drop is ferried in by boat and sold at a premium. Waste goes straight into the lake, raising the risk of disease. Security is fragile, no police, just a council of elders and the constant threat of pirates. Some pay protection fees to police from Kenya or Uganda, adding to their burdens. Electricity comes from noisy diesel generators, powering lights, bars, and phone chargers. Homes are makeshift, built from scrap, offering little shelter from heat or rain. Despite hardship, the community is vibrant. Bars fill with laughter, shops sell essentials, and neighbors look out for each other. Camaraderie is born from shared struggle. Every night, the island comes alive with music and stories. On Migingo, joy is found in small moments. The human spirit endures, even in the harshest conditions. This is survival, not just existence. Migingo's location has made it the center of a tense standoff between Kenya and Uganda. The real prize isn't the rock, but the fish-rich waters around it. Colonial-era borders are unclear, fueling decades of dispute and occasional military standoffs. Both nations have sent police and soldiers, each trying to control the island and its lucrative fishery. Most residents are Kenyan, but Ugandan authorities often patrol and tax the fishermen. The result: constant uncertainty, harassment, and fear for those caught in the middle. Diplomatic efforts have failed to resolve the stalemate. For Migingo's people, geopolitics is a daily lived reality. As if fish weren't enough, oil has entered the equation. Surveys suggest Lake Victoria may hold vast oil reserves, raising the stakes in the Kenya-Uganda dispute. Oil could bring wealth, or disaster. Drilling threatens the fragile ecosystem. A spill could devastate fish stocks and livelihoods. The promise of oil intensifies the political tug-of-war, making peace even harder to achieve. For Migingo's residents, oil is a distant hope and an immediate threat. The future of the lake and the island hangs in the balance. Migingo isn't in any travel guide, but for the adventurous, it's unforgettable. Getting there means a long road trip, then a boat ride across Lake Victoria. New arrivals are screened on nearby Migingo Island before setting foot on Migingo. The island is a sensory overload: fish, diesel, music, and humanity packed into every corner. There are no tourist comforts, only raw, unfiltered life. Visitors witness resilience, chaos, and the daily struggle for survival. It's not for the faint-hearted, but it's a lesson in human endurance. Migingo challenges every preconception about what it means to live on the edge. The Nile perch boom has pushed Lake Victoria to the brink. Overfishing, pollution, and climate change threaten the lake's future. Fishermen use smaller nets, catching juveniles and depleting stocks. The ecosystem is unraveling. Fish are fewer, smaller, and harder to find. Millions depend on the lake, but its collapse would be catastrophic. Pollution and invasive species add to the crisis. Migingo's fishermen know the risks, but have few alternatives. They are on the front line of an environmental disaster. Migingo is more than a crowded rock. It's a symbol of survival and resilience. Its people endure conflict, poverty, and environmental collapse, yet build community and hope. Their story is a reminder of the global connections between markets, resources, and lives. The fish from Migingo may end up on plates worldwide, but the cost is borne by those on the island. We must recognize their struggle and support sustainable solutions. Migingo's story is a lesson in adaptation, conflict, and the power of the human spirit. Let's not look away. Let's learn, act, and remember what's at stake.